The spooky side of storytelling thrives on taking its consumers for a ride, wowing them with unexpected moments, shocks, and, of course, twists. As such, you'd better believe that horror gaming has a boatload of plot twists that will leave you utterly broken. The following 10 games are fine examples of this, as they boast some of the best plot twists in gaming. These moments left gamers clutching at their controllers in disbelief, thinking, well, I didn't see that coming. I'm Jess from WhatCulture, and here are 10 horror plot twists that broke you. Just a warning, this list has major spoilers for the games I'm mentioning, so be warned. Number 10, Mono's Fate, Little Nightmares 2. You'd think a game with no spoken dialogue would have a threadbare story, but the Little Nightmares franchise has proven twice now it never skimps on the narrative, especially in the second installment. Throughout this prequel game, you play as Mono, a young kid who stumbles across Six, the game's original protagonist, and ventures with her through the twisted Pale City. As this happens, an elusive villain known as the Thin Man stalks them. The mortal peril they're in is constant, but at least they have each other, right? Well, sadly, the final twist proves why you should never trust in the power of friendship, as Six shockingly betrays Mono in an act of self-preservation, letting him drop into a dark abyss to save her own skin. As if that wasn't enough of a twist, the game doubles down as Mono's isolation and resentment, combined with the Signal Tower's power, corrupt him and convert him into the Thin Man. That's right, the beloved Mono is cursed to become the very monster that was hunting them. Poor kid. It's not a great look for Six, but it's a dog-eat-dog world. Number 9, The True Leader, Rule of Rose. Rule of Rose is a hidden gem with a fascinating approach to horror storytelling. It's a complex and nuanced tale of abuse, power, and bullying, with one hell of a shocking plot twist. The story follows a young girl named Jennifer as she delves into her traumatic past as a victim of relentless bullying at an orphanage. She's vilified and abused by a group of girls who call themselves the Red Crayon Aristocrats. Jennifer's only solace from the relentless bullying is her lovable pooch, Brown, and her close friendship with a kind girl named Wendy. But as the story continues, these few glimmers of joy are dashed, as a major twist reveals that Wendy was secretly the leader of the Red Crayon Aristocrats the whole time, and even ordered the killing of Jennifer's dog. All this abuse was the result of Wendy's toxic love of Jennifer and her jealousy of Brown. Hell, Wendy even pulls off 2 reveals, as a character from earlier in the game, a mysterious young boy who captures Jennifer, is also shown to have been Wendy all along. It's like a horrible buy one get one free. Number 8, The Twins' Reversed Fates, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. Fatal Frame's second installment is often called one of horror gaming's best sequels, and you won't find any arguments here, as this compelling paranormal thriller is a next-level horror experience, and this unsuspecting final twist is a major example of what gives it such prestige. The game follows the twin pairing of Mio and Mayu as they explore a doomed village that has fallen to a terrible curse. This came about after the villagers failed to perform a ritual where the younger of a pair of twins was sacrificed. So a cursed town, a twin-killing ritual, and a pair of twins. You probably see where this is going. Throughout the game, it's implied that Mio, the younger of the sisters, is headed towards a gruesome end to save the village. However, a revelation near the end flips this on its head, as it's revealed that the town has a unique approach to classifying twins. In their culture, the firstborn twin is actually the younger one, as it's believed the secondborn allows the weaker twin to be born first. This twists the scale and points the finger at Mayu as the one destined to perform the ritual. Number 7, It Was All in Your Imagination, Cry of Fear. Typically, the "it was all a dream" plot twist will leave you rolling your eyes and lamenting the day someone came up with it. Cry of Fear, however, puts enough of a spin on the trope to bring it from overdone to a nice medium rare, or as I like my steak done, rare medium rare, like northwest. I have described it while ordering it before, and no one understands this but me. The game puts you in the shoes of Simon, a man who awakes in a dark town populated by monsters after being hit by a car. As you'd expect, Simon is forced to survive among these terrifying creatures and the nightmarish location. However, come the end of the game, you learn that this terrifying ordeal was nothing but a figment of Simon's imagination. It turns out the physical aftermath of the car accident left Simon with severe depression. His therapist suggested that he document his feelings into a book, which is what you've been playing the whole time. The character in the game is Simon's imaginary version of himself, and the monsters are his trauma. Again, yes, it's not an entirely original idea, but the psychological horror elements give this dream some heavy spice. Also, if you're anything like me, this game is so horrifying you could barely backseat play it, so. Number 6, The Stalker's True Face, The Stalked. If you want a short indie horror that'll charm you with its simplicity but still throw some bona fide heart-stopping moments your way, then The Stalked is just what the doctor ordered. The game puts you in the shoes of a young woman who's harassed by her ex-boyfriend following a breakup. She travels to her grandfather's house to seek refuge, only to become the target of a relentless stalker. You follow her as she goes about her days shopping, driving, and experiencing the fears of being stalked. It's a game with a small scope, but it still packs a huge punch with the stalker's final reveal. Through the narrative, you'll learn the grandfather's house once belonged to an unstable individual who murdered his wife. His obsession with you stems from your resemblance to her, and there's plenty of speculation on who it could be. But in the end, it was a sheep in wolf's clothing, as the stalker was the friendly cashier you talked to on an earlier shopping trip. This moment comes out of nowhere, as the character was so unassuming you'd likely forgotten about him already. Well played, game. That's a good twist. Number 5, The Second World Reveal, Fear and Hunger. Nothing beats that rush of excitement when you think you're approaching the end of a game, only for you to realize there's still plenty left. That said, lovers of the twisted RPG horror Fear and Hunger felt a little more conflicted when they found out all their hard work was only the beginning. Fear and Hunger is a terrifyingly bleak game that tasks you with delving into a dungeon full of danger, debauchery, and struggle. It's a brutal and punishing experience with a clear goal to find and rescue the lost Knight Lagarde. However, once you finally reach him after hours upon hours of blood, sweat, and tears, you'll realize the horrors have barely begun. Upon freeing Lagarde, he'll make it clear that he wants to continue his journey, leading you to a set of doors. What's beyond them? Well, strap yourselves in, because there's a hidden ancient city within the dungeon, and it's home to a host of eldritch abominations, dark gods, and even more unspeakable horrors. This twist is both a blessing and a curse, as it feels great to know there's more to play, but horrifying to think of the work ahead. Number 4, it was blank all along, Until Dawn. I've taken the name out of the heading there, just in case you haven't played this one, because it is such a good story, but I'm going to spoil it now. So jump ahead if you haven't played Until Dawn yet. Until Dawn's story is one of many twists and turns, but one of the most shocking moments comes when you discover the identity of the masked psycho terrorizing the group. As it turns out, it was one of them all along. Josh, one of the central characters, portrayed here by Rami Malek, is an intense but seemingly well-meaning guy who brings together a group of friends to the mountain location where his sisters died a year prior. Yeah, bit grim. From there, they attempt to survive the attacks of a masked killer and, eventually, the relentless onslaught of local Wendigos. However, one of these threats is less deadly than the others, as the masked killer was actually just Josh pulling an elaborate prank. Not cool, but neither was the year prior. What makes this twist even crazier is that you witnessed him get chopped in half by a buzzsaw earlier in the game. However, the whole thing was a trick, as he managed to fake his death with some excellent production value and believable visual effects. Number 3, your character's appearance, Slay the Princess. The phenomenal Slay the Princess is less a standard game and more a collection of plot twists in a trench coat masquerading as a game. Hell, it is so packed with shocking revelations, it could make M. Night Shyamalan blush. That said, one of the game's biggest twists is so unbelievably subtle, it crawls under your skin and strikes right at your heart. The goal of the game is, shockingly, to slay a princess locked in a cabin. You play a first-person perspective, never getting a good look at yourself. As such, it's easy to assume you're a typical heroic-looking human, especially being that the game's narrator seems to treat you like one. But nothing is ever that simple. At some point during the game, which will vary across playthroughs, you'll glimpse at your hand and realize that you're far from human. In fact, you appear to be a lizard-like beast. This understated revelation gives you a bunch of different questions, like who are you, what do you look like, what's going on here? And of course, that ambiguity is all part of the game's charm. Number 2, Sunny's role in Mari's death, Omori. Omori is an unconventional horror RPG that's as charming as it is unsettling. It deals with the horrors of deep personal trauma, with a massive reveal about the main character's past hiding behind the imaginative world and fun characters. You play as Sunny, a young boy who escapes into a dream world as his alter ego Omori to battle his psychological traumas and repression. Partway through the game, you discover that Sunny's sister Mari took her life years before the events of the story. But in typical horror fashion, that's not the real truth, as Mari's death was not self-inflicted. A tragic revelation about Mari's demise shows that Sunny himself killed her after accidentally pushing her down a flight of stairs during an argument. This understandably horrendous incident led to him becoming a shut-in and caused him a wealth of emotional turmoil. Number 1, Just Monica, Doki Doki Literature Club. The whole appeal of Doki Doki Literature Club is in its massive mid-game plot twist. And who's there to thank for that? Why, it's the president of the Literature Club herself, Monica. For the uninitiated, DDLC is a twisted visual novel that presents itself like an anime-style dating sim for a few hours before turning into a nightmarish horror. You watch as the characters become victims of violence, obsession, and seemingly the game itself. While you're left in the dark for a while, this sudden shift in tone is eventually explained by the shocking revelation that Monica, one of the 4 girls, is self-aware. She knows she's in a video game and has been manipulating the code to get to you, the player. Sure, she does it because she has romance on her mind, but her desire to alter the game leads to her friends dying in gruesome ways, and plenty of scares at your expense. This meta twist helped make the game iconic, leading to a cycle of people thinking, why on earth is this game so popular, before falling victim to Monica themselves. Well, you can't say she didn't pull it off.